welcome. This is the top story. The Jammu and Kashmir administration has razed houses of several terror accused in the aftermath of killing of 26 innocents in Pahalgam. The actions were taken in Shopian, Kulgaon, Pulwama districts as the security forces intensified the crackdown on LET operatives and suspects linked to the deadly Pahalgam attack. Sources said that a case has been registered against all the terrorists. Here's the latest picture of a terrorist's house being razed by the Jammu and Kashmir administration. Let me go over to my colleague Nazir Masoodi, who's been very closely tracking the events in the follow-up to that deadly shooting a few days ago. Nazir, do tell us, this probably is the sixth incident where a house of a terrorist has been razed. How is the identification going about? How is the Jammu and Kashmir administration going about identifying these houses, and how many more are in the line to be razed?
Well, as far as those who have joined militancy, they are listed. Their names are with the police. So since last 2 days, our police security force are, launching operations, and during these operations, we see houses are of the families of militants are being completely destroyed through powerful IEDs. You can see these visuals tell the story itself. This house is in Kalaroos area of Kupwara district of North Kashmir. It belongs to the family of Farooq Ahmad Tadwa, who is based in POK. He has fled from this place several years back and is reportedly operating from a Lashkar camp in POK. So his house was the target today in the evening, and that has been completely, you can see it, destroyed in this powerful blast. So this is, and we have seen several other houses being Kulgaon, Shopian, Pulwama, Bijbahara or Tral. They are houses belonging to the families of Lashkar terrorists. At least one of them was directly involved, what police is saying, in the massacre of innocent tourists in Pahalgam on Tuesday. And his house was completely destroyed. So are several other houses. They may not necessarily be linked to this massacre, but perhaps the police and security force are trying to send a message. Whoever is linked to terrorism, they will not spare them, not even the houses of their families. But families have been saying what is their fault. If their children have gone rogue, they have joined terrorism, let police and security go and track them down. Why should their houses being destroyed like this? But that is another story. For now, the security
so Nazir, where are the family members? What are they saying? Have you been able to speak to any of them and in order to find out?
Well, for example, in one of the cases, for example, in Tral area where one house was destroyed, which belonged to a family of Sheikh. His family was saying there were 3 families living in one house. What was their fault? As I said, that is a story, that angle. But when we talk about the security force, what they are doing, clearly they didn't own it directly, but they're saying, they were going for an operation. Then there was some explosive that went off and house was completely destroyed. Message is very clear. No prizes to guess who is behind it and why it is happening after the Pahalgam massacre. So it is an operation. There would be questions because security forces have been fighting militancy, terrorism, over the last more than 30 years. But this is not the modus operandi security force normally used. They would do it whenever they were active militants who were engaged in encounters to neutralize them and destroy the target houses. But this is for the first time security forces have launched this, start this policy of destroying the houses and sending perhaps a strong message that no, there would not be any tolerance to anybody who whatever is linked with the terrorism or militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. So clearly, security force launching operation. A large number of people have been detained in Anantnag district alone. Police are saying 175 suspected have been rounded up, detained for questioning.
Right, my colleague Shivarur also joins me for more on this story. Shiv, the houses are being razed of several terrorists, but the ones who actually were involved in the massacre, no police have not been able to nab, then how big a worry is that right now?
Oh, it's a very big worry, Rika. Both Nazir and I have been tracking the houses that have been destroyed over the last 3 days. Today, I reported from Pulwama, where Ehsan Sheikh's house was destroyed. He's a Lashkar terrorist. But if you notice the video that's been released now, showing the actual destruction of the house, shows that things are moving forward. And now, not only does the establishment want to be seen to be destroying the houses, but wants people to actually see the process by which it's been destroyed. This is a very dramatic, aggressive video showing the house being blown up. Very compelling image, obviously. But I think the question you ask is a good one, which is, where is Asif Sheikh? Where is Adil Hussain? Where are the other terrorists who've been named and whose houses have actually been destroyed? Their homes have been destroyed, but where are they? That's a separate operation that's obviously currently on, not just by the police, Rika, but also the army, the Rashtriya Rifles, and others, including the special forces, according to some reports. But I imagine that given that video footage of the actual destruction of this house in Kupwara has been released in this manner, means that there are going to be many more demolitions of this kind, because it is in one way something that establishes that action is being taken, and the agencies are not just sitting on their thumbs at this point of time in the aftermath of the Pahalgam massacre. So expect much more of this in the days ahead.
Thank you very much, Shiv, for getting us that report. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat said that non-violence is India's religion, a part of its values, and so is teaching a lesson to oppressors and hooligans. In a message to the terrorists who killed 26 innocents in Pahalgam, speaking at an event to mark the release of the book, The Hindu Manifesto, in New Delhi on Saturday, Mr. Bhagwat also gave the example of Ravana and said that he was killed not to harm him, but for his own good. Let's listen in.
अहिंसा ही हमारा स्वभाव है, हमारा मूल्य है। तो अहिंसा हमारा धर्म है। आतताइयों से मारना खाना, गुंडागर्दी वालों को सबक सिखाना, ये भी हमारा धर्म है। हम कभी भी अपने पड़ोसियों की कोई अपमान, कोई हानि नहीं करते, लेकिन ऐसा हम रहते हैं तो भी अगर कोई उतर आए बुराई पर, तो हमारा दूसरा इलाज क्या है? राजा का कर्तव्य है प्रजा की रक्षा करना, राजा अपना कर्तव्य करेगा।
Union Minister Hardeep Puri reacted to Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's reported statement on the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. The Union Minister said that this is state-sponsored terrorism and that we have reached a point where Pakistan will have to pay a price. Piyush Goyal has also condemned the statement, saying it was unfortunate that such politicians exist in Pakistan.
मैं समझता हूँ पाकिस्तान एक हताश देश है और उनके पास आतंक फैलाने के अलावा कोई और प्राथमिकता नहीं है। दुर्भाग्य है विश्व का कि ऐसे नेता, राजनीतिक नेता, किसी भी देश में ऐसे राजनीतिक नेता हो वो नुकसान ही करते हैं। मैं उसकी घोर निंदा करता हूँ और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पाकिस्तान के लोग भी इस प्रकार के बयानों से समर्थन करें।
अरे उनको बोलो अपना दिमाग, मेंटल कंडीशन अपनी चेक करवा लें जाके, क्या क्या बयान दे रहे हैं। बहुत हो गया, ये तो पहले हमारी सरकारें थी कि इनके ऐसे जो हरकतें थी हम टॉलरेंस लेवल था, अब वो मोदी जी का जो उन्होंने कहा है बिहार में उसको देखिए, और वैसे अब आने वाले कुछ दिन वेट करिए।
Now, after a crucial meeting of Home Minister Amit Shah with Chief Ministers, states across the country have ramped up their efforts to ensure compliance of the Home Minister's directive of ensuring swift exit of Pakistani nationals in India. The MHA has revoked all the visas issued to the Pakistani nationals and no new visas will be issued. The visas issued that have been issued terminate on 27th April, that is tomorrow. Medical visas have been granted a grace period till 29th of April, that is Tuesday. However, the revocation of the visas will not impact Hindu Pakistani nationals who hold long-term visas. States have begun the deportation process, starting with identifying the nationals, notifying and ensuring prompt exit. State officials have been tasked with ensuring the implementation of the centre's guidelines. Here are some reactions from the Chief Ministers. Listen in.
जे लोक विजा घेऊन या ठिकाणी आलेले आहेत त्यांची सगळी माहिती ही राज्य सरकारकडे उपलब्ध आहे. त्यांचं आयडेंटिफिकेशन झालेलं आहे. त्यांना नोटिसेस दिलेल्या आहेत आणि त्यांना परत पाठवण्याची व्यवस्था झालेली आहे. ते सगळे परत जात आहेत.
At least 19 persons were arrested for making anti-national comments in person or online across different northeastern states over Tuesday's Pahalgam terror attack that left 26 dead. The arrestees include an MLA, a journalist, a student and student leaders, a lawyer from Assam, one from Meghalaya and 4 persons from Tripura. Till now, 14 arrests have taken place in Assam alone. The Assam Chief Minister today also said that NSA or National Security Act would be slapped against those found directly or indirectly supporting Pakistan. The Army, CRPF, BSF and Jammu and Kashmir Police on Friday paid tributes to paratrooper Jhantu Ali Sheikh, who laid down his life while fighting terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur district. Havildar Jhantu was laid to rest today. He was killed while fighting the terrorists in Udhampur on 24th of April.
सबसे मेरा दायित्व जो है वो है देश की, जो कि मैं बिल्कुल बॉर्डर में तैनात था, जो कि भाई अचानक डेथ हुआ, सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया. सीओ बोला ठीक है साहब, आप पहले घर देख के आओ, उसके बाद फिर आ जाओ. पहले भाई को निपटा के आ जाओ, उसके बाद फिर जाऊंगा. मेरा सर्वोच्च हमेशा क्या है, मेरा देश है. सबसे पहले मेरा देश है, उसके बाद मेरा परिवार है.
Time for a tiny break now. More on the other side. Stay tuned. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has announced financial aid for suspended staff protesting in the teachers' recruitment scam. 25,000 will be given to Group C staff, while 30,000 for Group D employees. Jobs for Group C and D staff have been cancelled. CM Banerjee has announced plans to file a review petition in the Supreme Court. This development comes amid ongoing protests and controversy surrounding the teachers' recruitment scam in West Bengal. The 2026 Tamil Nadu poll battle is heating up, with actor Vijay's TVK emerging as a key player. Vijay has criticized Chief Minister M.K. Stalin for deteriorating law and order, particularly regarding crimes against women. Vijay has declared the 2026 Tamil Nadu elections will be a direct contest between his party TVK and ruling DMK. Vijay is confident that his party will win the polls, dismissing the BJP and AIDMK BJP alliance as irrelevant in Tamil Nadu's power dynamics.
இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நிறைய பேர் வந்திருக்கலாம், போயிருக்கலாம், நிறைய பொய்களை சொல்லியிருக்கலாம், மக்களை ஏமாத்திருக்கலாம், இதெல்லாம் பண்ணி ஆட்சியை பிடிச்சிருக்கலாம். அதெல்லாம் பழைய கதை, அதுக்கெல்லாம் நான் இங்கே வரல. இனிமே அதெல்லாம் நடக்காது, நடக்க விட போகிறதும் கிடையாது.
The prime accused in the alleged 3,200 crore rupees liquor scam during the erstwhile YSRCP regime has confessed that former Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy had endorsed him to chalk out an excise policy which would generate revenues for the state and the party, said a SIT official in his remand report. However, the YSRCP rejected the charges, criticizing the TDP-led NDA government in Andhra Pradesh for orchestrating a politically motivated liquor scam. Kasi Reddy, Raja Shekhar Reddy, who was arrested recently, has been identified as the accused person, one in the alleged kickbacks-driven liquor trade between 2019 and 2024, said the special investigative team official in the report. The SIT claims Reddy served as IT advisor to Jagan and played a central role in discontinuing popular liquor brands while promoting favored ones. International news now. Several containers exploded, causing a massive blast and fire at a key Iranian port on Saturday. Over 400 people were injured and 4 killed in the explosion. Footage showed thick smoke billowing from the port area. Shahid Raji, located 1,000 kilometers south of the capital Tehran, is the most advanced container port in Iran and 23 kilometers west of Bandar Abbas, the Hormuzgan provincial capital and north of the Strait of Hormuz, through which a fifth of world's oil output passes.
The explosion is concerned, certainly one of the largest explosion in that particular region, which has rocked the Shahid Rajai port in the southern Iranian port city of Bandar Abbas, which has left which has at least killed 4 people and hundreds of them have been injured in this particular attack. Also, this is as per the customs office at the port, that the cause of the blast was probably a fire which had broke out at one of the chemical materials storage depot. But the larger significance, or say the relevance of this entire port blast, is that right now Iran and United States are holding a mediation talks in Oman, and amid all this, just before the talks were to start or were in the midway, this explosion has been reported. As of now, the state news agency in Iran or any other sources have not sort of hinted any kind of foul play or any external interference or reason behind the attack. It seems like it was a chemical materials storage depot which caught fire, and then the explosion have taken place, and it has killed 4 people and hundreds have been injured as well. So the actual reason is yet to be ascertained. The official statement from the Iranian ministry is still awaited to ascertain the reason of the blast.
In a significant diplomatic development, US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met privately in Rome just ahead of the funeral of Pope Francis. The brief encounter, confirmed by both the White House and the Ukrainian officials, marked the first in-person meeting between the two leaders since the contentious Oval Office discussions in February. Trump said that both sides were close to a deal. He also said that he will end senseless war. Zelenskyy called this meeting a good one and also said that it was a meeting that had the potential to become historic. He said he hoped for results for everything covered and a full and unconditional ceasefire.
Just a couple of days ago, we had a meeting between Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, and Steve Witkoff, the chief negotiator from the U.S. side, who is brokering between Ukraine and Russia. So today, a White House spokesperson said that the two leaders met privately and had a very productive discussion. The meeting lasted for about 15 minutes, and then you saw the statement from Mr. Zelenskyy that how this could become historic if what all was discussed during the meeting can become reality, or if it can be implemented for both sides. But there is a bigger challenge for Mr. Trump, because during his campaign, he kept boasting about that he is the person who can stop this war, who can bring both the parties to the table. Half of that has been achieved because both the parties are negotiating with the intervention of the United States. But it's still, I think there is a lot to go before a formal ceasefire is achieved by both sides, because last time a truce was there between Russia and Ukraine, which was brokered by US, but yet again, both sides kept accusing each other that they have been targeting the energy infrastructure in both the regions. So we'll have to see, because Mr. Trump keeps claiming that perhaps the ceasefire and peace in Europe is very close, and this meeting is perhaps one of the precursor to that big moment.
US President Donald Trump has called out Russia. He said that Putin shot missiles in civilian areas. There was no reason for the Russian president to be shooting missiles, and he may need to impose secondary sanctions. That's what Donald Trump is saying, that he may need to impose secondary sanctions on Russia. Maybe Putin doesn't want to stop war. That's what Donald Trump said about Vladimir Putin. This was one of the biggest stories of the day. World leaders and Catholic faithful bid farewell to Pope Francis in a funeral reflecting his priorities as Pope and wishes as pastor. Though presidents and princes attended the Mass in St. Peter's Square, prisoners and migrants welcomed him into the basilica across the town where he was laid to rest. Tens and thousands of people flocked before dawn to the square on a brilliant spring day that was supposed to have been a special Holy Year celebration for adolescents. The funeral date was set by cardinals meeting in a so-called general congregation, the first of a series of meetings which will culminate in a conclave within 3 weeks where a new pope will be elected.
Standing outside and emptying St. Peter's Square, where about 30,000 people had gathered inside the square for Pope Francis's funeral, while another hundreds of thousands were lining the street between St. Peter's and the Basilica of St. Mary Major, where his body was ultimately laid to rest. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re presided over the Mass and brought up some of the themes that were special to Francis, that were really emblematic of his papacy, including concern for the poor, migrants, the environment, interreligious dialogue. And those who were gathered here today talked about how those themes really made them pay attention to the church in a new way, how Francis opened the doors of the church to more people and brought a new face to Catholicism that they found incredibly welcome. Some of the people that I talked to, including one Argentine family, talked about how they think it is now the responsibility of each and every Argentine specifically to carry out the mission that Pope Francis had initiated in his papacy. Some started talking about, the new Pope and how they hope that that person will continue the focus and priorities that Francis had laid out in his papacy, while others said, it is the work of the Holy Spirit to bring about a new pope, a new influence, and they trust that whatever will come will be whatever is ultimately needed for the church. It was a day of mourning, certainly, but no doubt a celebration of his papacy. A lot of people were incredibly moved to be here. They loved reflecting on what he meant to them as Catholics, as people who might have left the church, but brought, a new type of paying attention to the issues. They thought that maybe Catholicism was a little cooler thanks to this Pope. And while his death wasn't completely surprising because of his health conditions lately, it certainly was unexpected. And so today was very chaotic. A lot of people came completely changing their plans, canceling vacations, or they had come for a canonization and decided to stay for a funeral. But there was a lot of joy today in honoring Francis's legacy. I'm Sole Salgado of National Catholic Reporter.
Well, that's all we could pack into this bulletin. Thanks for watching.